Hello, fellow YouTubers. Trouble8385 here with YouTube Gaming Community number 42. Oh, we start off with the holidays. I love the holidays. Christmas tree, gifts underneath the tree. Oh, yeah. Ironically, me and my wife just finished today Christmas shopping for each other. The most we probably spent on each other in a very long time for Christmas, quite honestly. Ironically, over the last 2 days, I was at GameStop. My wife was actually there today, too. And I went yesterday with my son to pick out a gift for my wife. I was to tell you a quick story. It's funny about him. So we're there looking around, you know, and he gets to the DS section, right? And what does he point out? He's like, we need this game. And it's Super Mario 64 on the DS, which we already had. And he goes, oh, because Mario and Sonic, you know, he loves those two characters. I said, we already got it. And that's it. And he was looking around the games. I didn't think anything of it. So today, my wife just said, hey, you know, my son, hey, you want to go and get, you know, pick out your present for your dad? He goes, nope. And she goes, why? He played with my toys he wasn't supposed to. He's been bad. He doesn't deserve a gift. Of course. Anyway, so later that day they had a conversation, and she goes, so do you want to get me a gift? And she asked me, do you want to get me a game? He said, yeah. And she goes, well, what kind? He goes, a DS. Because he knows all the systems. At 4. Kind of scary. And she goes, well, what do you want to get him for the DS? And he goes, Toy Story. And he starts going into great detail about everything about the game. He never even looked at this game when we were at GameStop yesterday. Somehow he knows all this stuff about the game. And then she goes, are you sure you want to get this for Daddy? And he goes, no. You get it for me, though, so I can play it. So it's amazing how kids pick these things up and just know everything. But anyway, my wife was at GameStop today, and they had a stack of strategy guides there, and they were just trying to get rid of them. And so she picked up a UFC Disputed 2010 and God of War 3 strategy guide. They're just trying to get rid of them to make room for other stuff. Ironically, I don't have either one of these games yet. But so, going through my Christmas past, relating to video gaming, the first one that I remember the most, of course, is when I got the Atari 2600 Heavy Sixer when I was a kid. That was the Christmas that my parents had me and my sister in the back car, and they went to store, city to city, trying to find one. Because back then, if something was popular, you couldn't find it. It was like scarce. And so they told us they didn't find one, but they did. And underneath it, and we opened all of our presents. I remember this to this Christmas day. And they, oh yeah, we got one more Christmas for everybody. And we opened it up, and there was the Atari 2600. I was so happy because I so badly wanted an Atari 2600 back then. And the other Christmas I remember with the Atari 2600 would be the Christmas that I got the Empire Strikes Back game and that my sister got Frogger. And back then, if it was Star Wars, I was a big Star Wars nut. Back then, it was more you using your mind and creatively than the actual game, you know, because back then, but I still love that game. Even today, I can play that game and love the Empire Strikes Back game on the Atari 2600. And the other Christmas that really, really sticks out to me more than anything else when it comes to video games is 1987, the first time I saw the commercial on TV for the NES. I got so excited because everybody said video game was a fad. The Atari 2600 died off at this point. The video game market crashed. You could go to a game store and they were clear. Everything was clearance. You could go to garage sales and just pick them up for nothing at this time. People were just trying to dump these things at that point. Actually, at that point in my childhood, that's where I got a lot of my Atari 2600 games, was during the crash. I played a lot of different games back then. And I was hoping it wasn't a fad because I love video games. So when I saw the NES, I was just so excited. Another video game system, all right. And when I first saw that commercial, I ran out and told my parents about it, and they're like, yeah, but we tried the Atari 2600. It's just going to fail again, you know. And anyway, they acted like they didn't care, which is what parents do, you know. If you want something really bad, they act like they don't care, but yet they remember. And that Christmas, sure enough, I got an NES, and I was so excited. First time I ever played Super Mario Brothers. Now the robot lasted for 20 minutes and then he got bored with it. I mean, that's just the problem with Rob the Robot with the NES back then. And the last memory I have of Christmas would be the first year me and my wife were dating. This is when I had my PS1. PlayStation 1. And she bought me for Christmas Wild Arms, the original. Little did I know I'd play that game, she'd watch me, and then later on she'd play that game and fall in love with that game. And it was funny about that game, by the way, was that what was funny about it was when we originally both started playing that game, we were both like equal to each other. So when we talk about it, because sometimes I would be sleeping when she'd come over and play back when we were first dating and stuff. We're at the same point. And then one point somewhere she got ahead of me and got so far ahead of me that I just quit playing and I started watching her. And it was wrong. She bought it for me. In the end, she beat that game. That was the first gift she ever got me for Christmas. Shockingly got me that for Christmas. But anyway, let's get to a little bit of news before we get to... I said I was going to do channels to check out, but ironically I found 23 videos on YouTube, so there are some channels on here and videos I've never talked about before. So the first part of news, StephsTooDef applied for a YouTube partnership. She got within 2 days, so congratulations to her for getting a partnership. I've actually enjoyed her channel for a while now. And the first video to check out would be StephsTooDef's video, Steph's 2010 Christmas Wishlist, if you want to see her wish list of video games and some non-video game items. And she goes into great explaining why she wants them. It's really cool. Next up is Sinistermoon's Commodore VIC-20 cassette loading. I had one of these around 1988. My family had one of these. Commodore. We picked up a Commodore VIC-20 with a cassette loading. If you've never seen that, check that video out. Next up is Biffs Gaming Videos, Coin-Op Games 1983, Disc of Tron, which this is actually shows the main version of it. But this is one of the things I want to point out with this game when it comes to video gaming. Unless you actually experience the game when it actually came out, sometimes you don't understand the impact a game has. Star Wars, the arcade game, impacted me a lot back when it came to the arcade because it was amazing to me. The voice, used the Force, and the graphics, the Vectrex graphics were amazing to me back then. And this was another game that really blew me away, Disc of Tron, throwing the discs, and it was such an amazing game at the time in the arcade. If you've never seen it, check out that video. Next up is Review Tech USA's Win a SuperEverDrive Donate Toys for Tots. This is also done in partnership with Stone Age Gamer and Kirk's Labs. This is a limited edition SuperEverDrive for the Super Nintendo. Check out this video. There's a link below for the eBay auction that goes on until December 31st. This is basically a one-of-a-kind item. So, limited edition. It's really cool. And if you want to know what the SuperEverDrive does and what it's all about, check out PEEP, ALACANT's SuperEverDrive testing some Super NES games on it. A link to that video for you. Check that out. Next up, Phreakindee's 100th Lazy Game Review video, the Questionable Special, where he answers a lot of people's questions that they've asked him over time. Next up is SystemSyko. It's Christmas Memories 1994 video games. He talks about 2 video games he remembers getting in 1994 Christmas. Next up is Tools 360. Holiday Special Video Game Memories and History of NES. Of course, like a lot of people during this time, talks about his memories of the video games and system NES, obviously. Next is DonDonRaiden Game Room Tour, December 2010. You know how I love those game room tours. Next up is Techromancer 1's Broke as a Joke Epic Blooper. If you want to see how a video could have gone really, really wrong, check out his blooper video. It's really funny. The next one is Techromancer 1 also. Package Time with Tech. He gets a really big, cool arcade stick that works for the Xbox, PS2, and GameCube. If you're interested, check that out. And next up is KefCla14's How Do You Count Your Video Games video. So if you want to check out how he counts his. And next is Atarileaf's Open Tag. What are your collecting goals for 2011? My collecting goals for 2011 are the same as 2010, which I surpassed by a lot, which is this year I hope to get 1 video game system. I think I'm either shooting for a Dreamcast or a 3DO this year. And just to get more games for my systems. Unfortunately for me, my retro game store, Game Exchange, has just closed down. So unfortunately, where I live at, there is no retro store, so I'm going to have to find a new one. Next up is aireCOMBO's Broker Nintendo Plush Animal Crossing series. If you want to check out the plushies of Animal Crossing, check that out. And next up is the Real GOEMON 77 Halloween special review and a shout out. If you don't know, he's Gomon7719, who used to be on the YouTube channel, who's now come back with his new channel. And next up is David Hassel 3L Hoff, 2010 Christmas Special, Christmas Nights into Dreams review. If you've never seen Christmas Nights into Dreams, it is basically the Genesis Nights game, of course, that if you had filled out the card and sent it to Sega, for Christmas, Sega sent you this game. A really small, short game, but they sent you this game in the mail. And next up is Happy Console Gamer, Christmas Video Gamer Special 2010. I always love this this time of year when they do this video, when Rob Man and Johnny Millennium trade gifts. It's really cool to see how excited they are, what they get each other, because no serial. Check it out to see what Rob Man got for Christmas. It's really cool. And also, by the way, the latest All Gen Gamers come out with the Christmas one, and Rob Man's also the special guest, where they talk about Christmas past and all their stuff. So you should check that out. Next up is the Intellivision Dudes 500 subscriber special part 1 shoutouts. He shouts out a lot of people in the community, so if you're interested, check that out. Next up is Gamester81's Visiting Digital Press with Spider 1A. I tell you one thing about the Digital Press, which is located in New Jersey. They have a lot of box games there. And not only that, but to see the what the prototype would have been for the next 3DO and stuff, it's really, really cool. Store and video, check it out. Next up, Immortal 119's shout out to all the great YouTubers, where he shouts out a bunch of people in his video. Next up is Top 10 Video Games, Top 10 Dreamcast Accessories, and you may want to check that out in case you're going to have a little money to burn after Christmas. And Retro Gamer VX's Atari 2600 Beta Review, Clone Wars, we take a look inside too. If you really want to see everything to know about the Atari 2600, really, really cool video, check it out. And last but not least is Old School NYC Gamers, Retro Gaming Flea Market in NYC. So guys, next YouTube Game Community on Monday, if I could tear myself away from my Christmas presents, playing my Christmas, actually ironically right now I'm playing Halo 3, I'm trying to finish that, but it's not going to happen. I'm on the 8th mission on Halo 3, and I'm not going to finish it before Christmas. But next one we'll get back to the comments on the 15-minute limit now being lifted on people's channels, and some people may, and also about tags. People brought some very, very good arguments and counter arguments to what I said. So guys, until next video.